Good morning. This is sort of a continuation of the previous audio. It's going to be about matriarchal or patriarchal systems. Yeah, patriarchal systems are more consistent with hunter-collector societies, societies that are constantly on the move. You know, it's more patriarchal because everything is achieved by men. They carry, everything. They have to hunt and scout and constantly be on the move, carrying everything. Women, yes, they are also hunters, but when pregnant, they have to stay, in the safety of the campment. If a woman, does too much effort or lives a very exciting life, they can lose the baby very easily. It's the drama of women who join the army, for instance. They get a problem with their muscles. Their muscles atrophy because of the extensive effort, and they eventually develop problems in the ovarians. They simply get destroyed, atrophied, and they lose the capability of having children. So a patriarchal society, like I said, is more common of a hunter-collector, in which the women are kept on the safety of the campment, and men, have to do everything. So it's their lead, and women have to, rest and take care of children, and and that all sort of thing. Otherwise, life just can't go on, can't move on. Matriarchal systems, started developing more when we got established, for instance, around the fertile areas of rivers. We kind of established roots, and eventually systems start developing that are more democratical. That's a more woman type of thing, a more feminized type of thing, and a more matriarchal. So I wouldn't have a preference for one or the other. We do what we have to do to survive, and stop being a bigot about it. Um, so I'm going to read a little bit in metaphysics what this is all about. In metaphysical mythology, we meet sometimes with inversions. Example, in the Rig Veda, Daksa, which is a name for the progenitor. The Greeks call it the one, or the monad, is born out of Aditi as her son, and she also of him as his daughter. Where Viraj is born out of Purusa, and vice versa. So you have the mother, the father, and the son being born out of each other. Okay? This story is misunderstood by so many people. Like in the Oedipus story. The Oedipus story is a Greek, mythological story that talks about this interaction between father and son, but misunderstood by by the people who take things literally, the bigots. They think that the son is there to take the father's place. Yeah, and marry the mother. That's Sigmund Freud, delusions kicking in. Sigmund Freud, he took the Oedipus story to heart, and he said the sons are destined to overtake the fathers and marry the mothers. It's crazy. Talking about incest and stuff. That's taking metaphysics literally. That's the most stupid thing ever. The Trinity, Mother, Father, and Son, they are consubstantial. They are connascent. Yeah, they're like triples. Conjoined triples. One cannot exist without the other, and if one changes, the other has to change. Sometimes there's inversions, and I suppose it's societal and structural. Like I said. Hunter-gatherers were more patriarchal, and the ones who established roots were more matriarchal. There's these inversions, But for instance, here in Sakta, which is a cult, there survives an ontology antedating the patriarchal modes of thought, and the relation of the conjoined principles is reversed in gender. Here, Shiva is inert and effecting nothing by himself. He represents the Godhead, the monad, the One, while Sakti, the mother of all things, the Greeks call it the Aristos Dias or the Demiurgus, the mother of all things, is the active power that engenders, that preserves and resolves everything. And then it says Lila, which is the cosmic game, is not his, but hers. Then it continues, in mysticism, there is an emotional realization of all or any of these points of view. In reality, quote, the path men take from every side is mine. Bhagavad Gita. Master Eckhart says, in whatever way you find God best and are most aware of him, that way pursue. It doesn't matter, what sides of the Trinity you're in. Don't be a bigot about it. Don't be, focused on the small details. It's metaphysics, it's a metaphor, it's allegory. So, so anyway, the aspect sometimes of the destroyer is incarnated by Kali, for instance, or for a more Abrahamic, I would say it's Lilith, or it's Lilith, or the Jezebel spirit. That's when there's decadence in society. I mean, don't take me wrong. In patriarchal societies, sometimes it goes very bad as well. And when in matriarchal societies things tend to go bad, it is said that Kali, is taking over. Kali is represented, a beast with many arms, many heads, including many aspects, many facets of her personality. She has a collar of beheaded, decapitated men around her neck, meaning she is, like the Black Widow. She's promiscuous, has sex with tons of men, but then unalives them, and also devourer of babies. And I was thinking about, this report. I don't know if it's real. I mean, I don't have time to check everything, but it said something along between 1997 and 2000 and the 2000s. The generation, whatever they call it, they pretty much, stopped 40% of, there was a 40% abortion rate or something like that. So that's Kali, that's Kali, the spirit of Lilith. Lilith, according to the legend, was the first wife of Adam, and she didn't like to take orders from Adam, and then God, got rid of Lilith and gave Adam Eve so he could have a family. But Lilith didn't want to, obey. She was rebellious. And then the story continues, I don't know the exact details, but yeah, but Lilith and Kali are very similar in archetype. Well, if you want to see in the man aspect, in the male aspect, you have Ares, the god of war. It's always thinking about destruction, and the other side, of the triad is destruction. And a thing that is, represented in the Vedic pantheon is that the gods, they are both genders at the same time, So do not focus on the gender. They represent both genders. They are hermaphrodite, Again, the Trinity, Mother, Father, and Son, they are consubstantial. So don't focus on the roles, on the parental roles, the father and son roles, or in the incestuous nature, almost. These are myths of creation, myths of creation. The okay, I think I'm gonna shut up now.